lost it, baby. Go, go, go. FTJ, FTJ.
That looks clean.
What is FTJ?
Fuel the jet. Fuel the jet. FTJ, legit.
Did you see that?
Welcome back to Remembering the Razzies. We watched Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen this week. I'm so tired. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're a little fuzzy. Speaking of a little fuzzy, do you want to explain the synopsis? Because I want to see what you think happened.
Okay, so I checked out like halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
And there were also 3 cats around me, so I got distracted a lot. It's about Shia LaBeouf. Oh, also, disclaimer, I've never seen the first Transformers.
Yeah.
So, here's Tristan's synopsis of Transformers 2. Shia LaBeouf has a shard of a cube from the last movie that makes it so electronic devices become Transformers. The Autobots have merged with the US government to protect humanity. Megatron is dead at the bottom of the ocean. This is where things get fuzzy. They somehow bring Megatron back to life after he died from the last movie. I think it had something to do with the cube shard, but
There was a second cube shard the whole time. Continue.
That's fucking stupid. Megatron comes back to life and he flies to one of the planets in space.
He flies to the planet Cybertron, where the Transformers were from.
That's fucking stupid. He meets with a robot named the Fallen.
That's a real name.
It's a real name. And I guess the Fallen is the leader, even though I thought Megatron was.
It's a little vague. I didn't catch that either.
It's fucking stupid. And Optimus Prime dies. And then they're like, oh, let's go to Egypt, because there's a device that can bring Optimus Prime back to life. And can also destroy the sun. There's a final battle and Megatron dips. And Optimus Prime comes back to life. And then the Fallen... Did the Fallen die?
Yeah. That's when Olive was laying on your face. Optimus Prime punches through his back, grabbing his heart and then crushes it through his chest. It's really cool.
Cool. So that's the movie.
It does end very abruptly.
It's super abrupt.
Yeah.
I had a cat sitting on my face, and then I looked up and I was like, is the movie over? You said when we started that you were nostalgic for this. You had like some nostalgic feelings towards it.
The nostalgia faded quickly.
I don't think there was a single thing about this movie that I enjoyed.
I like when the big robots punch each other.
I think it looked really messy.
Yeah, it did. It's colored very gross.
The lighting is really bad.
Everyone's sweaty the whole movie.
They're like sweaty or dirty.
Yeah.
Like Shia LaBeouf is chilling in his college dorm and he looks dirty.
Yeah.
Like he's not even doing anything.
Yeah, they're gross. The editing's choppy, especially if you've never seen it before. It's super hard to keep track of what robot is what, whose team they're on, and what they're going for.
I felt like I'm just your girlfriend watching the movie with you, and I'm like, who's that?
And I'm
what
like,
are they doing?
I think it's this one. I haven't seen this movie in many years.
I'll tell you the moment I checked out of this movie. It's when Megatron comes back to life and he flies to the fucking robot planet. I couldn't tell what was happening on screen.
Yeah.
Because the characters blended into the background.
Everything's so dark.
They were talking about, like, we are ancient robots for thousands of years. And I'm like, what?
It's simultaneously, like, a really dumb movie.
Yeah.
But it has, like, a fuck ton of lore behind it, where it's, like, it's so hard to keep track of everything. I know that I liked this movie back when it originally came out. That being said, I don't know if I understood what was happening. I think I was just like, oh, cool, robots are fighting.
Robots fight, yeah.
Now that I've seen better big robot fighting movies like Real Steel, Pacific Rim, Chappie, this one is pretty bad. Nostalgia blinds me, because I do think it has like a certain charm to it.
Yeah.
Like a gross, dirty charm. But
yeah.
It is there for me. But yeah, it is pretty bad. Especially on this rewatch. I was having a tough time, like, paying attention and staying awake and keeping track of everything. I have nothing else to say about it, really.
I don't either.
Let's talk about what it won.
This was nominated for 7 Razzies, and
Okay.
it won 3. Worst Screenplay, Worst Director, and Worst Picture.
Worst screenplay?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Holy shit.
super convoluted.
This is a movie about toys.
It's about toys.
Like, imagine if the Lego Movie came out and then they did the Lego Movie 2 and it's like, here's thousands of years of Lego lore, and here's why the Mega Blocks are are fucking Satan.
It's super poorly written. The dialogue is pretty bad.
Oh.
Particularly, I think, his mother. She reminded me a lot of, what's the movie that we couldn't watch because we couldn't find it anywhere?
Dirty Love.
Dirty Love. She reminded me of that Jenny McCarthy's like
McCarthy.
comedy style, just like older.
It's bad to say that she was the worst part of this movie when there were 2 racist caricatures.
Why we still listening to you, little punk ass? I mean, what you ever done for us except ding my rim? Kill Megatron. How about that?
No, I think that's accurate. I think she's still the worst.
I mean, I'm not defending that.
No.
Because those 2 characters were fucking awful and I cringed every time they were on screen.
I think the reason that I didn't mind the racist characters as much is because most of the time I just couldn't understand what they were saying.
Yeah, I couldn't understand what half the characters were saying in this movie because the sound mixing is fucking awful.
It's really
I
bad.
think not only is like the plot and the acting bad, but like all the technical aspects of this movie suck also. Maybe the score is fine.
I like the score, but I'm also that more than anything I'm probably nostalgic for because it's very emo boy summer.
Just go ahead and check out your room.
But I guess if we're talking about all the elements of this film, we should talk about Michael Bay as worst director.
Well, even he said that this movie was a
Even
disappointment.
he said that this was, There's so much about this movie.
The comedy's pretty bad. Anytime they attempt comedy, it's like usually fart joke, poop joke, or balls.
Acting direction is really bad. Shia LaBeouf is acting like some sort of John Nash in A Beautiful Mind, like seeing numbers and writing shit down, and looks like he's like just having some sort of spasm when he does it.
They overly sexualize Megan Fox, which isn't a new thing.
Yeah, but still.
It's really overtly funny anytime it happens.
It didn't happen as much in this movie as I thought it would. They had that opening shot of her on the motorcycle, and then she just is shoved in the background for the rest of the movie.
She does nothing. She
doesn't
literally
do
is like
anything.
led along on a chain leash by Shia LaBeouf. Like she just goes where Shia LaBeouf goes.
Yeah. Honestly, just that whole opening action scene, it's like dark and there's explosions everywhere and I don't know what's happening.
You can't see what's going on.
Which, I mean, helps the CGI. Whenever I saw a Transformer in daylight, I was like, wow, this looks like a Bionicle commercial.
It does. They look shockingly like Bionicles in this movie. And then Worst Picture?
Worst Picture. So this was nominated against Old Dogs, Land of the Lost, G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra, and All About Steve.
I don't think any of these movies are like offensively bad necessarily though.
Yeah.
Just knowing about kind of what they are. So I'm okay with having Transformers Revenge of the Fallen win Worst Picture out of these, but I'm sure if we looked at other movies made in this year, I'm sure we could find something worse. This one, I just think, is way too long and way too convoluted. That's what kills it for me. And it looks like shit. You know what? The more I talk about it, this movie really doesn't have anything redeemable about it.
I walked into this and I was like, so these franchise movies, they've got like a formula. I'm like, how could this be bad? Oh boy. Do you want to rank these?
Yeah.
So for best made, oh, this is a toughie.
This one is tough. I think the CG isn't too bad. I think like the robots, when you actually can see them, like they look pretty nice.
The screenplay really pulls it down for me.
Screenplay really pulls it down. Cinematography pulls it down. Sound mixing pulls it down.
I think I'm gonna put this under Catwoman. Because even though Catwoman's got that shitty 2004 CG, and even though the acting is super campy, it's a superhero movie.
Yeah.
So, like, I can kind of give that a pass, and then Swept Away, although being shot nicely, is just infuriating.
That's fair, yeah. If you just kind of turn your brain off and let things happen to you, which we couldn't really do because we would fall asleep, it's got like cool explosions and guns.
Yeah.
There's value in that sense. It's just like when we are trying to analyze it critically, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because we have to pay attention to what they're doing, and what they're doing is dumb. So, yeah, I'm okay with that. Right underneath Catwoman, right above Swept Away.
Okay, and then most entertaining. Whew, this is pretty low.
Yeah, I'd put it under Swept Away.
Under Swept Away?
Yeah.
Wow.
I wasn't falling asleep during Swept Away.
That's true. Swept Away had a few moments that I thought were funny, and then a lot of moments that made me mad.
Yeah.
Whereas this movie was just, I was watching pictures on the screen.
It just became like white noise after a while.
Yeah. Okay, I'll agree with you.
Okay.
I'll put it under Swept Away.
All right.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hey, what are we watching next week? Oh, wait a second.
It's the end of a decade. What's that mean, Tristan?
It means it's time for Worst of the Decade.
Let's just transform into our new costumes for the awards.
Okay.
All right.
Ready? Wow. That was pretty epic.
Yeah, that was so epic. Welcome
To Worst of the Decade.
Oh man, the things that we've experienced in the last 10 years. Fingering, battling,
Hat.
now we gotta analyze and say what we think the worst of everything was.
Worst of the Decade.
Worst of the decade!
Let's get started with Worst New Actress. The Razzies nominated Madonna for Die Another Day, The Next Best Thing, and Swept Away. Jennifer Lopez for a lot of movies, but we mostly just watched Geely. Lindsay Lohan for a lot of movies, but we only watched I Know Who Killed Me. Mariah Carey for Glitter, and then the winner was Paris Hilton for a few movies we didn't watch.
Alright, let's vote for our worst actress of the decade.
Ready?
3, 2, 1. Jenny McCarthy. Oh, that's a good answer. I said J-Lo, but probably Paris Hilton. I'm gonna side with you though. I forgot that Jenny McCarthy was a thing. Play our favorite Jenny McCarthy clip. Oh my god, I hate it.
This is fucking awful.
Yeah.
So congrats, Jenny McCarthy, on winning our worst actress of the decade.
You're the worst actor in our hearts.
You're awful. Worst actor of the decade. So the Razzies nominated John Travolta for Battlefield Earth and others, Rob Schneider for a lot of movies that we haven't seen, Mike Myers for The Cat in the Hat and The Love Guru, Ben Affleck for a lot of movies including Geely, and the winner was Eddie Murphy for a lot of movies that again we did not watch. So now let's vote for worst actor. Alright, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1.
Oh,
John
hell
Travolta.
yeah. I think I'm heavily biased again because, again, I edited Battlefield Earth for a long time.
Yeah.
And had to listen to John Travolta's stupid voice for a long time.
I just think he's a bad actor. I've never seen him in anything that I liked him in.
Have you seen Pulp Fiction?
No.
Not even, you don't like him in Grease?
I don't think he's doing anything, like, amazing in terms of acting.
Well, yeah, but nobody is except maybe Rizzo.
Okay, I never said I liked Grease either, so...
Congratulations, John Travolta, for our worst actor of the decade.
John Travolta and Razzies go together like...
And then worst picture of the decade. The nominees for worst picture of the decade were Swept Away, I Know Who Killed Me, Geely, Freddy Got Fingered, and then the Razzies pick for worst picture, Battlefield Earth.
Wow. Okay. Can I see the full list?
Yeah, let's look at our full list. Based on our list, we would say Dirty Love.
That's true. But I feel like it's kind of a cop-out. I don't want to say Dirty Love,
Yeah.
just because, like, we You didn't actually get to see it, so I'm not gonna pick that.
Okay. I was going to pick Dirty Love, but you're right, it is kind of a cop-out, because we didn't get to watch the whole movie.
Yeah, what if it was really good in all the parts that we didn't get to see?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'll read mine first.
Okay.
Well, let me prelude it and say why I picked this. So the movie I picked, not only did we not enjoy, I don't know anyone who would say that this movie deserved to be made. We've already seen it, essentially. It's inconsequential to my life, anyone else's life, and it was just essentially a remake. So, for my answer, I said Basic Instinct 2. Why did this get made?
It's a good answer. I was really struggling between that and Geely and The Love Guru. But if I had to pick a movie that filled me with hatred for the art form of cinema, a thing that I'm very passionate about, if there's a movie that makes me just hate it and makes me angry beyond belief, the only movie that did that to me this decade was Swept Away.
I knew you were gonna pick Swept Away.
It was tough. Basic Instinct 2 was garbage. Geely was boring and dull in every aspect of the word. I think Geely is Italian for boring. And then The Love Guru, like we talked about last week, was painful, insulting comedically. But Swept Away, just the audacity of that movie to tell the story that it did in the way that it did it, with Madonna of all people as an actress, only because she was married to Guy Ritchie at the time, just really took the cake for me.
The only reason I didn't go for that one was I can see certain people, women of probably Madonna's age of that time, seeing that as a romantic movie, which it's not, but I can see where the value in that movie lies, in that if you don't think about it, someone out there is probably like, oh, I want to be marooned with a boy. I want to, just spend all my time with one guy with no other distractions. I'm not saying I agree with that, or that is the takeaway of the movie. I could see certain demographics being like, yeah, that was so sweet.
But you're not part of that demographic.
I am not.
So you're gonna concede and vote with me.
I am okay with conceding and voting with you. However, I will stick to the fact that Basic Instinct 2 it's really bad. I don't know anyone who would like that movie.
Yeah.
Unless you didn't see the first one and you're just like, I might as well see Basic Instinct 2.
Like us.
Well, yeah, but we had to. Let's just think about this decade compared to previous decades.
I will say, much better than the 90s.
Yeah.
I had a lot more fun with these 10 movies.
Yeah, there was a lot more variation in terms of genre. There was a lot of variation in terms of whether we actually enjoyed it or didn't enjoy it. I feel like the 90s we were just this was an okay movie.
This was
every single
middle
week.
of the road. Yeah.
This one had high highs, low lows. We found a fantastic movie with Freddy Got Fingered. We've watched that since. We watched that,
we have.
essentially at my bachelor party we watched that. I enjoyed that movie, and then we had some real terrible movies with Love Guru,
Geely,
Swept Away, obviously. This was a good range. I think Transformers kind of bombed it for me at the end there, but
yeah.
But all around good stuff. Hey, you at home, if you think that a different movie deserves worst picture of the decade, even if it's not on the list that we watched, recommend it, because after we catch up completely with Razzies, we will revisit. We've started a list of things that we want to watch, and we're going to try to find the worst movie of all time.
Next season, we will catch up.
That's true, yeah, we will be caught up.
So we're going to go on another holiday break. Should be back, hopefully, February or March. But yeah, we'll see you. We'll see you early next year for The Last Airbender.
Oh, God.
But hey,
I'm excited.
Thanks for sticking with us through the 2000s, and we'll see ya early in the new year.
Have good holidays, guys. I still have battery. No. Movement.